Leave me the fuck alone! Leave me alone! I'm not doing nothing! Leave me alone! Fuck! Please! What the fuck is the problem? Come on!
We're going to skip formalities. For those of you guys that know me or are familiar with the channel, thank you for being back. Glad to have you here. For those of you that aren't familiar with the channel, just a quick intro about me. I'm a state police trainer, instructor. I'm a state criminal investigator. I have a law degree, certified teacher, and we're going to be doing a breakdown video of this Taser incident. Now, as we can see from the video, male and female cop. Male is hands-on, struggling with suspect. Female, I mean, they're both struggling with the suspect, but female's not really doing a whole lot in the application of going hands-on. She goes for her taser very quickly, which, you know, we in my opinion, we see too much of it. Now, let's be honest. This is something that we talk about a lot, and when we look at the use of force continuum, it really just comes down to ability, right? And you know, if you are somebody that's not comfortable with confrontation, if you're not comfortable with your hands-on skill set, you're just not going to use it. You're going to jump past that straight to intermediate weapons, which is what pepper spray is what a taser is. So let's look at our first case law here. The level of force of a CEW. See, CEW stands for controlled energy weapon, and so CEW would be a taser. And the Ninth Circuit affirmed that a taser is considered to be an intermediate use of force tool, weapon, what have you. So taser is considered to be intermediate use of force, and that is pursuant to in accordance with Brian v. McPherson, 9th Circuit, 2010. That was actually out of San Diego, California. It actually happened on the Coronado Bridge, area I'm super familiar with from my military days, because I was stationed there on Coronado. And so we look at this and we see this video, right? And we understand that, you know, they're having difficulty with control of the suspect. As you can see, you have the use of force continuum that is up for you guys to look at. And so when we understanding use of force, especially from a law enforcement standpoint, we see the officer presence comes, you know, that's going to be our number one use of force step, right? So 1 to 6. Now, again, when we're talking about intermediate weapons, and I think you saw on our previous video that we did about pepper spray, church security teams and pepper spray, there's this idea that going hands-on is just considered to be, it's taboo for some reason. It's considered to be, you know, high risk, you know, we shouldn't be doing it, risk mitigation. But when we look at the case law, right, and when we look at our use of force continuum, we can see that intermediate weapons is a 5, lethal force is a 6. So when you take that taser out, you've jumped past officer presence, verbal commands, empty-handed submission, and hard control. An example of hard control would be compliance strikes. That would be an example of hard control. And so, you know, when we're looking at this, and we're looking at this pragmatically, right? Man, that's not a good position that we should be finding ourselves in. And so, the question is, well, why do we see so many cops go for pepper spray, tasers, all this other stuff, baton, right? And the truth is, it's because they don't feel comfortable with their empty-handed submission, hard control techniques. It's clear from this video, like, you know, and I don't know this female, and she sees this, you know, I'd say it to you. It's clear you have, number one, no desire, but a lack of ability to go hands-on. And so this idea is like, okay, well, and I'm sure the idea is, okay, my male counterpart is struggling with this suspect, so therefore, if I can use the CEW and get what's called NMI, neuromuscular incapacitation, then it'll be easier for my male counterpart to put handcuffs on, which is not a bad, right? That it is not a bad idea, right? That is not a bad, you know, as far as looking at tactics goes, it's actually, it's a good use of a CEW. If you're going to use one, a good use would be, you know, force, intent, and purpose, right? So I'm going to use the CEW to get NMI, neuromuscular incapacitation, so that I can therefore assist this officer in getting physical control. The problem is we see that she uses a taser multiple times. It's clear she's not comfortable with that tool, with that weapon. It's clear that she's not very confident in her ability, and ultimately she uses a taser numerous times. This looks like the new tasers where they have numerous cartridge abilities, and so she finally shoots again, and she sticks her partner, right, which causes him to, as you can see, he successfully got neuromuscular incapacitation, and so now you got bad guy with the taser, got partner with the taser, and now everybody's just combat defective, right? And so again, this just goes to showcase when we're talking about intermediate weapons, something we have to really keep in mind here is really two things, and this is where I really want to hit home with this. When we're utilizing, right, intermediate weapons, realize we're looking at the screen here. We're at a 5. Okay, so we are already there. We're the only other way to, increase force is to use lethal force, right? And so you've already bypassed all your physical, again, empty-handed, hard control techniques, right? Our force is already beyond that. And so if you don't use that intermediate weapon carefully, right, and if that intermediate is not working, well, then you're going to have to choose. Am I going to bring back down the force, or am I going to go to lethal deadly force? And so what's so dangerous about this is, okay, she's using the taser. Taser's not working. It's not being effective. Then she hits her partner, so her partner is now ineffective. What happens if that guy starts to stand up and come towards her, right? I don't see a weapon, so let's say he's unarmed, right? Still can cause damage, right? Hear me out, okay? Hear me out. She rendered her partner ineffective, right? Incapacitating him, neuromuscular incapacitation. Bad guy gets up, starts coming towards her, standing up. What's she most likely going to do at that point? She's going to drop the taser. She's going to go for her service weapon, and she's going to use deadly force. And so the question remains, okay, so clearly she's on the road, on patrol, with the inability to do 1 through 4 use of force, attempts to use a level 5 intermediate weapon, does not work the way she wants. Now we're using deadly force because she didn't even attempt, right? We're not even attempting empty-handed submissions. We're going straight for intermediate weapon. Intermediate weapon doesn't work. Boom. Straight to lethal force. Very discerning, right? Again, this has nothing to do with anything, just the fact, because people like to make it a male-female thing, and that's fine. I don't really care. There are males that can't do the job either, right? So yes, you have females that are very have proven, right? We see it proven having difficulty using force, and then again we see males, same thing, difficulty using force. And so again, there's no need to make it a male-female. It's a capabilities thing. And so as long as law enforcement has low standards on capability, man, these use of force videos are just they're just gonna keep coming. So there you have it. Hope this video is helpful. But tell me what you guys think. What do you guys think? I'm starting to present some more intermediate weapons stuff to you guys, more case law. What are you guys' opinions on this? What are you guys' opinions on law enforcement using intermediate weapons? Do you think, would you agree with me that it seems like, 2 to 4 or 2 to 5, like 3 and 4 use of force isn't used enough? Do you think that law enforcement should be more capable using 3 or 4? Tell me what you think. Tell me what you think about this. You guys have seen enough of these videos. Curious to know what your guys' opinions are. Let me know in the comment section below. Let's keep the conversation going. As always, guys, long live the Republic.